Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.
I am Rachel Ruth Tate, and this is Text Astrology. A great big warm welcome to everybody out there. This is Rachel Ruth, your very own podcasting astrologer, coming to you from Rogue Media Network in Waco, Texas. It is time for another full moon, and so another episode of the show. And in the congenial spirit of this full moon in Libra, I am reaching out to all of you to say Text Astrology now offers natal chart readings, so get yours or a gift certificate for a friend at www.textastrology.com. Each 60-minute reading includes a copy of your chart cast by moi and a recording of our session together. Getting your chart read is a great way to learn about chart reading as well for all you curious folk out there. Now, let us connect over the full moon in Libra happening on Wednesday, April 5th at 11:35 p.m. Central Standard Time at 16 degrees of Libra. Libra is the 7th sign in the zodiac, the number of chakras we have, the number of sacraments in the Catholic Church, the number of days in the week, the number of seals in the Book of Revelations, 7 palms in an Egyptian cubit, the number of colors in a rainbow, and a 7 is a perfectly neutral pH balance. 7 does have a unique balance, and Libra, the 7th sign, happens to be represented by the scales themselves. And fittingly, Libra is ruled by our lesser or personal benefic Venus, and is her yang sign or outward expression, just like relating. Her higher octave, if you will, because Libra is our cardinal air sign, and the air element is literally moving more quickly than Venus's other sign, fixed Earth Taurus. Air, or gas, is literally higher energy and lower density than Earth or solid matter at an atomic level. And the moon, our literal mirror for the solar energy on Earth in the evening, our moon is shining a Libran light, that dual-bodied air sign I mentioned. The scales have 2 sides always, right? And those sides connect as Venus does at their fulcrum, and those sides unionize, in this case through the air element. So through that which the vibrations of air or gas can hold, that through which sound waves travel, folks. And waves and or particles of light, the visible light spectrum, they move through the air around us as well. So the sign of Libra represents those Venus things, the pleasure, joy, and beauty, Venus stuff, which can be personally perceived. Remember, Venus is a personal planet, very keenly felt as our happiness and pleasure are, and in Libra's case, through sight and sound, as opposed to Taurus's dominion of touch, smell, and taste. So we are mentally diving deep into the archetypical meaning of Libra here, but in sum, Libra represents the higher order mental and emotional and spiritual pleasures that we can enjoy perceptible through the senses of sight and sound. The full moon here, which it is, reflects some glorious light each time it's full in this place, in this sign. It reflects the light of an exalted sun in Aries. The full moon is always the fullness of the reflection of the light of the sun off of the face of the moon, which that fullness is formed by their 180-degree opposition in the sky. But the full moon in heady Venusian Libra gets to reflect some extra zesty, high-quality sunlight. The sun does excellent work in Aries, strengthening our ability to enjoy this full moon's apex of energy in the natural world, which we are, of course, a part of. We can't cleave ourselves from the bosom of the nature we exist inextricably woven within. I don't care what else people say. Anyway, the moon here is nice and warm in some ways, though with no special power, so to speak. There's no formal rulership the moon has over Libra. However, the closest aspect that any planet is making to this moon, which is an important thing, mind you, so the closest aspect is to our good friend and forever teacher, Jupiter. The greater or social benefic, the second to our benefic pair, Venus and Jupiter. Everybody likes Venus and Jupiter. This portends some higher good coming in here and positive energy. So what's the aspect with Jupiter then, Rachel? Well, the exalted, glorious sun in Aries is coming into a conjunction with Jupiter in Aries, about 4 degrees away, 20 degrees of Aries, meaning that the moon at 16 Libra is forming an opposition with Jupiter with that same 4 degrees of orb. Jupiter is a triplicity lord of fire signs, which Aries is where it is. So we have a good deal going on here. We have some solid supports for goals and dreams especially. The sun and Jupiter in Aries are bold. They're determined, swift, courageous, spirited, direct, true. Aries is the number one sign. It's the first, opposing Libra's 7th. So it's the self versus the relationship. It's really that simple, if you like, the Aries-Libra axis. So that's what's going to be filtering through the Libran lens of the full moon, the syzygy. A lot of energy for Aryan beginning and boldness. And the basic message? In order to have good relation with others, one must have good relation with oneself. To be of your highest order of service and use to others is to also show that same respect and effort for and towards yourself. This full moon says the universe needs your gifts, not the gifts someone else has or what gifts you would have preferred to have been given, but yours. We have to boldly be ourselves to be accepted, this moon says. They are never going to believe in you first. This is you. You need to believe. And the ruler of Libra, she's important. She's Venus in Taurus, and the queen in her castle wields much power and respect. And she glorifies the sky, and thus bonifies or aids this full moon in Libra as well. Because Venus is also at 24 degrees of Taurus, finished her conjunctions with those crazy baddies Uranus and the north node of the moon, both throwing their curveballs at Venus earlier in her Taurus journey. Now this full moon, Venus is just enjoying the rest of her stay in her own beautiful, sensuous place, and ruling the moon from there, steadily and with much Taurian grace. The heart of this Libra full moon begs us to believe in ourselves, in others, and to dearly and deeply hope for what comes next. Because hope rises when spirits could fall, and choosing joy is an option, no matter how ominous the horizon appears. We have permission to enjoy anything we wish, even the pain in this life. Like tattoos, right? We all can get behind that, those of us with those. But there is pain in growth, as Mars, the ruler of Aries, reminds us from its place over at 5 degrees of Cancer, squaring the whole full moon situation widely by sign, creating some tension and dynamic energy, and this kind of energy that requires us to move, even when we're not in the mood to. And Mars in Cancer is not in the mood to. But it does remind us that we will get hurt. Not if, but when. The world is not a safe space, no matter how much we artificially act like it is or should be. Mars there in Cancer reminds us that against the boldness of asserting yourself comes the need to protect yourself from damage, and if hurt, the need to heal. We don't rebound the same as we age, so we have to take care, Mars in Cancer, of our elders and our young and ourselves at every age. Our individual spiritual journeys, or the hero's journey, as Joseph Campbell likes to call it, they have to come with their trials, with our own woundings in some form. Because in reaching out to the world, we will find that some things are sharp, rough, or painful, because they just are, like the thorns of a rose. And in that, the wisdom and compassion and glory of Libra are born. Song, a very Libran thing, song and music comes from struggle. Music liberates the soul, as rock, jazz, hip-hop, blues, and literally every other genre of the stuff proves to us over and over again. Remember, in this full moon, that most of our suffering isn't personal, even though we experience it that way in this fleshy vessel. Pain is part of the plan, part of being human, an immortal soul stuck in a mortal body. When we struggle to walk as a baby, the ground isn't against us when we fall and hurt ourselves. It's truly just there beneath our feet. The earth that bore all of life. Gravity holds us to our mother's breast, so to speak, as much as it pulls us down. So take the knocks down or on the chin with grace this full moon. For the next new moon is an eclipse, and an eclipse in Aries. So we'll be learning about ourselves, yeah? But this full moon in Libra is that last one before the lunar nodes actually shift signs into Aries, into that Aries-Libra axis, from where they are currently in Taurus and Scorpio. And eclipse season always features interruptions to the regularly scheduled programming, often shocking ones at that. But this full moon in Libra foreruns these eclipses, and it says that we can and should seek our peace through self-actualization and more balance in relation. Not taking personally, but wisely balancing boundary and investment, fostering true intimacy and respect for life, yours and others in the process. Literal compassion. Mercury in Taurus alongside Venus there also begs us to be impeccable with our words. Yes, I'm channeling the Four Agreements here, which is a lovely book by Don Miguel Ruiz. You should get it. Get it if you haven't read it. But Mercury reminds us with our words that we speak our universe. And Taurus, where Mercury and Venus are, that rules the throat. So use those vocal cords with honor and love, and know that it makes a material difference. And it will bring about that very peace and security that Taurus craves, that our hearts and our minds will crave. We catch more flies with honey, right? And so I will use this sense of Venusian unionizing purpose to inform our hopeful we can affirmation horoscopes for this full moon in Libra. I request rising signs be used for these horoscopes as the ascendant speaks to the first house of self, the physical you, but your sun or moon sign works a bit as well. So this full moon in Libra cycle for all 12 signs. Aries. We can offer and accept with amazing grace. Taurus. We can be and receive light in the dark. Gemini. We can make beauty with pain through creation. Cancer. We can heal most deeply with others. Leo. We can know true love in our most authentic expression. Virgo. We can all be elevated through just exchange. Libra. We can find a perfect balance between us. Scorpio. We can ease our inner as we tend to our outer. Sagittarius. We can create as a whole with many parts. Capricorn. We can lead by embodying the example. Aquarius. We can bring the divine into the daily through our acts. Pisces. We can trust the trustworthy. Let those horoscopes balance and settle in your minds as we take a brief break for a few words from our sponsors.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
And here we are back in the stars, moving from moon to the planets in transits. Here are my top 3 celestial stories to follow over the next 2 weeks. Number 1. Venus enters Gemini on Monday, April 10th at 11:43 p.m. Central Standard Time, appropriately making the first big moves after the full moon in Libra, which beautiful and lovely Venus ruled from at home in her other sensual sign of Taurus. Venus, our planet of personal pleasure, remains in heady mercurial Gemini until May 7th. Gemini is our 3rd sign in the zodiac, ruled by Mercury, our messenger planet of speech, expression, and the exchange, which is currently sitting over in Taurus, giving Mercury and Venus what we call a mutual exchange. They're both in each other's signs, which can be helpful and aid them both in acting out their significations with some support. Teamwork, right? But that aside, folks, this is going to be a more powerfully felt transit than one might typically expect of ebullient, joyful, bubbly, standard issued, chatty surface Venus in Gemini. Because right as Venus hops the sign boundary into Gemini, she gets herself into a strong trine, a 120-degree angle of current and higher order flow, with dark and mysterious mini Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So get ready for some butterflies, folks. This is some heart leaping in the chest energy. Excited and excitable, and maybe even having a slight panic attack. Verbal Venus in Gemini trine dystopian Pluto in Aquarius is a very socially oriented and high energy aspect that may have us enjoying anything from morbidly fascinating true crime docs and podcasts. Try Killer Sally on Netflix. Sally McNeil has a Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Gemini, which makes for perfect popcorn fodder for this transit. Anyway, yes, this Venus ingress may have us engrossed in some interesting true crime material and the like, or delving deep into the latest conspiracy theories, or reading sci-fi novels, or starting your own dream journal. Journaling nightmares too, of course. Pluto in Aquarius has to jot down a good nightmare. Y'all get the picture. Dark media, abnormal psych, revelations about the hidden within society, etc. Because lovely Venus, brand new in Gemini, is not just doing a trine tango with Pluto in Aquarius. She's jumping right into a 90-degree hard angle dynamic square with Saturn, greater malefic Saturn, bigger burden, at 3 degrees Pisces, as soon as she enters Gemini. Yeah, guys, I am doubling down on this dream nightmare journaling thing with this one. I kid, but I don't. Saturn, our social burdens and greater responsibilities and commitments, is a sober mystic in Pisces. It's about the coming of age of your faith. Asking, what do you believe in? Not what you don't believe in. What do you believe in? And do your existing belief systems hold water? Square Venus in Gemini, this Saturn in Pisces aspect is going to be like can you reconcile all that you're learning and listening to with your own sense of universal order and purpose? Or are you living your higher purpose? Do you even know what that purpose might possibly be? Or have you committed to taking the journey within? ? Have you gotten quiet lately? What do you hear inside? Do you hear anything? Get ready for this Venus and Gemini transit to require more from you to be enjoyed. Pluto and Saturn only deliver their best in connection if we do the same. The Plutonic and Saturnine do not come free. I repeat, do not come free. No. But remember that Hades loved Persephone, and Saturn or Cronus sacrificed himself for his siblings. These aspects that Venus and Gemini is making with Pluto and Saturn, they ask for depth, which Venus is not known for in Gemini. But we can consciously and with intention give that profundity to her with our attention and our expansive care. Mars is still in Cancer, ladies and gentlemen, so underscore the care and the investment like twice. Enlightened Venus in Gemini, though, loves intense mental stimulation, revels in the truly creative, and expresses her joy as outward, generative, artistic expression. So, just do that. Especially because Venus enters Gemini hours before one of the most benefic aspects of the year, which is our second transit. The Sun conjoins Jupiter on Tuesday, April 11th at 5:07 p.m. Central Standard Time at 21 degrees of Aries. And this, my friends, is bound to be a very nice day. The Sun, the vital life force energy of all things, and Jupiter, our greater good, connect in a sign that they're both very empowered within. The Sun enjoys exaltation rulership of Aries, meaning our star does its very best work in early spring in the northern hemisphere. And Jupiter enjoys triplicity rulership. Higher purpose has an affinity for the alchemical quality of all the transformative fire signs. So, to put this together as conjunctions do, they form the most powerful angular relationship possible between two heavenly bodies, conjunctions, right? And that results in a literal fusion of those two bodies' meanings and forces. So the Sun and Jupiter in this case. And life will be kind the day that Sun and Jupiter join up, as spirits will be high. And this conjunction is a cause for some celebration and action. Kinetic jubilation. After all, this is Aries, the first sign in the zodiac, our cardinal fire sign ruled by Mars, and all things that happen in Aries beg us to move. Because the ram, Aries' symbol, is known for its forward motion, its impressive headpiece. Aries does rule the head. And that headpiece on a ram is used for martial purposes, to fight for females in territory, really. It's pussy and property. And the ram is called to action by challenge, which is another ram, generally. Meaning the self is called to action when it encounters other selves, right? The Aries-Libra axis right there. And this is also why the Sun exalts in Aries, directed self-assertion. And the Sun, which is the energy of self, the Sun can do big things when it links up with our greater benefic higher power Jupiter. Jupiter, the ever-growing largest planet in the solar system, expands all that it touches. And the Aryan tendency to, quote, take life by the horns is going to be at a high point right about now. So watch for passion to convict you, fire sign style, to do, Mars, what you truly believe you need to do, the instinct of the ram. Jupiter in Aries adds a modifier to the mix, self-belief, and general hope for the future, especially made manifest through personal connection and action. Think. A spiritual quest undertaken towards a goal. Not quite the same way as Jupiter's journeying home mutable fire sign Sagittarius. No. In Aries, Jupiter is more focused. It has a forward track and a vision to enact. Visualization here. Interestingly, this activating conjunction of the Sun and Jupiter at 21 degrees Aries occurs on top of a fixed star. Fixed stars are like the suns from other galaxies whose starlight carries information. Light is energy and information, right? Literally, physically. And those stars carry through to us on this planet through visible light their information. So the starlight forms a conjunction with any of the interplanetary bodies, anything within our solar system that occupies the very same tiny area of the sky vis-a-vis our perspective here on Earth, of course. But that light combines before it hits our eyes or hits us. So anyway, this excellent Sun-Jupiter conjunction in Aries occurs on top of the fixed star Batan-Cadus, which comes from the Arabic phrase for the belly of the beast. Let that sink in. Woo, what symbolism! Our higher selves finding meaning inside the Cetus constellation's whale's belly, the belly of the beast, or Batan-Cadus's. We all know about Jonah and the whale, about the old man in the sea, Moby Dick, all that. We only find ourselves in the belly of a sea monster if we're on a divine mission. God is the one who sticks people in those situations in order for their own self-realization and good, right? So God and the literary greats writing an epic symbolism, right? They all stick people in whales' bellies. Regardless, this transit is for our own good. And it's going to be one hell of a ride. Just cue up Moby Dick by Zeppelin, right? So buckle up, folks. Batan-Cadus is traditionally associated across all societies with Saturn, which at this moment is in Jupiter's sign. Very like, this is for your own good. You'll be much better on the other side of this challenge arising to type vibes here. Let's learn personal, ineffable lessons that are divinely appointed. Woohoo! And the sky doubles down on this Saturnian lesson learning for long-term benefit because our third transit happens. Saturn in Pisces trines and sextiles the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio on Thursday, April 13th at 4:29 p.m. Central Standard Time from Saturn's place at 4 degrees of Pisces to the south node of the moon's place at 4 degrees of Scorpio and the north node of the moon's place at 4 degrees of Taurus. Don't worry, I will make this make sense. Saturn is using its softest hand right now. And those sentiments actually speak to the nature of this transit pretty well. Saturn, which is our social malefic authority figure, burden bringer, Saturn is here to show us benefits to our practice and patience. With two soft angles of the nature of Venus and Jupiter, yes, the 60-degree sextile and the 120-degree trine, connecting Saturn to the karmic fate points, the north and south node of the moon, revealing the purpose of our past struggle and our present emotion. The big why behind the weight of the crosses we bear. The whole deal with being stuck for a time in the whale's belly, like why that? Yeah. And so this transit makes sense for a full moon in Libra syzygy. Both malefic Saturn and benefic Venus have big power in Libra. And right now, Saturn is in Jupiter's sign. Basically, this transit, as with this full moon itself, this Saturn trine sextile transit has a flavor of accepting our personal responsibility and embodying what society needs from us. Servant hero vibes. Of rising up into the roles that are required of us with Saturnian determination, Venusian pure intention, and Jupiterian faith in the whole process. Becoming is a very big deal. And the lunar nodes? Well, the nodes are non-physical moving points that are created by the intersection of the moon's orbital plane with the sun's apparent path in the sky, where both luminaries, both bearers of life force energy and information, meet, and those places represent the direction and the flow of energy. The south node drains and pushes away, and the north node craves and pulls towards. The tail of the Ouroboros and the head. the repulsive end of the magnet and the attractive end. The lunar nodes are reflections of the truth of the subtle motion of the cycles of life. And with this Saturn and Pisces trine and sextile those lunar nodes, we have major spiritual and emotional lessons being integrated into the lived experience, and this integration flowing into the unstoppable river of fate, providing the opportunity for greater union within and without. Labor never tastes as sweet as the moment the fruits of labor are brought to fruition, right? When you realize why you've had to work so hard or why you've been held up so long. That aha moment when you understand the spiritual architecture and sense the purpose in the plan. Some, or all, of our roadblocks are divine, right? There is a lot to learn in this universe, and very little teaches us quite so well as our trials triumphed over through perseverance and determination. Saturn stuff. And Saturn hands us two opportunities here. With this supportive transit to the nodes, one chance to connect to the security of deep values that will sustain and nourish us through our doubts, which is Saturn in Pisces sextile the North Node in Taurus, and another opportunity to fully let go of any emotional baggage and bitterness that has been poisoning our wells of personal power, which is Saturn in Pisces trine the South Node in Scorpio. And all of this Saturn business, it's hard. But it serves society and our highest good. Because really, our own true highest good is the true highest good of others. If you've ever attended my meditation studio while it was open, this transit is totally in line with what was our motto or our only official hashtags on social. Hashtag I am the refuge. Hashtag for the benefit of all beings. Like one of my favorite contemporary astrologers, Cam White, said on his recent podcast episode of the Astrology Report, which follow it for weeklies. You'll love it, especially Gen Z. Anyway, like Cam recently said, Pisces is the sign of the journey within. And right now, we are all on a Saturnian journey within. We are mining for diamonds here, Taurus stuff, made under intense heat and pressure, Jupiter and the Sun in Aries stuff, and with more spiritual and physical literal use than almost any other stone known to man. When we squeeze grapes and give them time, we get wine. When we squeeze people and give them time, we often get genius. Saturn in Pisces wants to show us that the enlightened brilliance that we have is inside. It may hurt a little bit, getting it out, but just like the South Node of Scorpio tells us, we have to let that shit go. Better out than in with anything toxic. And once we've cleaned something out, we are refreshed. And the world feels somehow refreshed too. Well, the upcoming quality of time will be new and refreshing as well. So let's move to the quality of time over the next 2 weeks following this full moon in Libra lunation. They will feel communal, interactive, opportune, engaging, and spirited. Which brings us into our do's and don'ts for this full moon in Libra syzygy. Do take ownership and account of what you encounter inside. Accept what comes up and remember you are the only one in there. Don't take the blame for everything. That's a victim, martyr, savior complex, and it helps absolutely nobody. Do fill all of your social interactions with intention, and don't be afraid to shrink your circle or focus inward for a time if it feels right. Don't get caught up in the idea of relationships or do more ruminating than actual relating. People are real and right in front of you to engage with. Do take bold action towards your personal goals and endeavors. Now is the time to seize the day before eclipse season. Don't risk more than the reward is worth. Stay focused on the achievable and practical. Anything else is a distraction. And I'll say it one more time before we sign off. I am now officially offering natal chart and other chart readings to private clients. You can visit my website, textastrology.com, to book yours or one for a friend. And this wraps up the Full Moon in Libra episode of the podcast. So please like, follow, subscribe to, review, and share this podcast on Apple or Spotify. It is the greatest exchange of energy you can give to me, truly. Besides donating to support the show or booking a reading, you can totally do that too. Libra loves her some justice and balance in exchange, y'all. If you like this podcast, help me out. Bye now. That's it for this episode, folks. Meet me here every full and new moon for more cosmic wisdom. For now, you can find me on Instagram at Rachel Ruth Tate and at Textastrology, or between the pages of my book, Meditations on Being, available on Amazon and wherever else you purchase books.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.